This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And on this day, June 24th, in the year 1995, South Africa celebrated winning the famous Rugby World Cup. In fact, South Africa even hosted the World Cup and won it. And unlike the 87 and 91 World Cups, this was in one country and one country only. This was huge. This was the first major sporting event in South Africa since the end of apartheid. Obviously, the whole divide between whites and blacks and all that. South Africa was allowed to compete in this World Cup this time. And in 1992, they were back to international rugby and then did the Tri-Nations with New Zealand and Australia. So anyway, it was huge and all that. The championship game on June 24th was even huger. So, to get into the 16-team tournament, you had to be either, 16 positions. 8 quarterfinalists for the 91 World Cup, which Canada, thankfully, got to the quarterfinals, and in their best finish ever was 91. They received automatic entry, and South Africa's host. The other 7 were by regional qualifiers. Ivory Coast, Japan, Argentina, Italy, Romania, Wales, and Tonga all went through qualifying just to get to this part. So pool stage, the top 4 teams moved on. 4 pools, 4 teams. Top 2 moved on. Canada, unfortunately, was pitted in the group of death with South Africa and Australia. So you can kind of guess that Canada wasn't going to win. South Africa beat Australia, which was nice, 27-18. Canada did crush Romania in Defined Powder 34-3, but lost 27-11 to Australia and 20-0 to South Africa. They didn't even score one freaking point. So the hosts were through. Group B saw England and Western Samoa, as they were known as, not Samoa, but Western Samoa, move on over Italy and Argentina. Although Italy and Argentina would become decent much later on. England took care of Argentina 24-18, 27-20 to Italy, and beat Samoa 44-20. In Pool C, New Zealand and Ireland got in at the expense of Wales and Japan. Well, Japan wasn't really that great. They got crushed 57-10 by Wales, 50-28 by Ireland, and 145-17 to the New Zealand in front of 25,000 fans. That's right, New Zealand put up 145 points on Japan. How many tries? How many touchdowns/tries? Ellis had 6, Rush had 3, Wilson had 3, Brooke had 2, Osborne had 2. So they had, just those 5 players alone got 16 tries or 90 points. At least Japan didn't get shut up, but Ireland shocked Wales on the final day 24-23. That win ruined Wales' chances to make the quarterfinals. In Pool D, France and Scotland got in. Tonga took care of the Ivory Coast. But yeah, France and Scotland, you kind of knew it was going to happen. Ivory Coast got their asses whipped, 89-0. They lost 29-11 to Tonga, and that wasn't the only loss. Max Brito lost his rugby career after being crushed beneath several players, leaving him paralyzed below the neck. In the quarterfinals, France crushed Ireland 36-12. South Africa, the home nation, beat Western Samoa 42-14, thanks to 4 tries by Williams. England narrowly beat Australia 25-22, thanks to 5 penalty shots by Rob Andrew. And New Zealand crushed Scotland 48-30. In the semifinals, South Africa narrowly beat France 19-15. France had 5 penalty shots by Lacroix for 3 points each. Kruger had a try for South Africa. Stransky converted it and then hit 4 penalty shots for 3 points. England got beaten up 45-29 thanks to Jonah Lomu's 4 tries, or 4 touchdowns, if you will. They did have a third place playoff in which France beat England 19-9. So anyway, it was time for the final. New Zealand, South Africa, June 24th, 1995. Both nations were undefeated in their pools and both won their 2 playoff games and all that. It was going to really be June24 versus the country of South Africa, if you will. New Zealand looked pretty good. So at the half, South Africa led 9-6 thanks to some shots by Stransky. Mertens also kicked, but no team could get a try, as in a touchdown, if you will. New Zealand actually had a chance at a drop goal, which is like you kick it, but you have to let the ball bounce off the ground, and then you kick it. They almost got it, but they failed. They would have to go to overtime, and first half extra time, no points other than penalty goals. And then Stransky put up that drop goal to make it 15-12, and South Africa survived. It was a great time to be a South African fan in sport, because South Africa finally got back to the Olympics, got back to international competitions, and they win the 95 Rugby World Cup on their soil. But of course, the iconic moment, as you see in the photo, if you're watching this, is Nelson Mandela wearing a Springbok, or what they call the South African rugby team, a jersey and cap, presenting the Webb Ellis Cup to Francois Pienaar, who I did a birthday boy on a while ago. The captain. It was one of the most famous finals ever. It was huge and all that. What else is huge about that World Cup is it inspired a movie called Invictus, starring Matt Damon as Pienaar and Morgan Freeman as Nelson Mandela. It was huge what you could do. And South Africa get back to respectability in the world of sport. Believe it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.